Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 18th of September. It is a Wednesday. We do have a 12-game main slate, at least on DraftKings, starting about a half an hour earlier than normal. Looking at a 5:35 Central Time start, 6:35 Eastern. And 3:35 Pacific. So a little earlier start today, but it's not too terrible. 12 gamers, an interesting slate size decision. Um, I haven't really read anything about weather. DK showing some rain in Baltimore, so probably look at that. I rarely trust what they put next to the games here, but since I haven't had any chance to look, New York as well, we're going to want to at least check into those locations just to get an idea if we have to deal with any rain. With that said, this is a first look at pitching options. I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you're on FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half or even a third. Don't have to be as creative. Pricing's not as tight. Scoring system a little different. A little important to nail the top strikeout pitchers on the slate over on FanDuel. But with that said, let's just jump right into pitching. We get Scooble here at the top against Kansas City. It's been all right against Kansas City this season. Hasn't been as dominant on the road either, but his strikeout ability has been better on the road. But 3 starts against Kansas City. Strikeouts have been there. Runs allowed have also been there. So there's some volatility. He might, I mean, I don't know, with Detroit being in the wild card hunt now, um, I'm not sure that they're going to completely limit him, but um, if he finishes an inning around the mid 80s and pitches, he probably won't come out for the next one. Something to pay attention to. He is a minus 148 favorite. Game total 7.5. K prop wise, we're looking at 6.5, but juice on the under. That's kind of a telling number too. Kansas City, not a huge strikeout team, but he has had a ton of success against them. 20 and 18 and third. So, he's been solid lately. He hasn't picked up a win over his last 2, so that's kept his scores down a little bit. But obviously, picking up a win would have his score jump up a decent amount. Yeah, and 2 out of his 3 starts against Kansas City wasn't all that good, but big spot really. So I do want to utilize him because he does have plenty of upside. Dylan Cease pitching at home, where he has been at his best, coming off of a just absolutely dominant performance. But again, like last night, do we really want to take pitchers in this game? I'm not super excited to. I think the pitchers pitching in this game tonight are stronger than last night in King and Hunter Brown, but we didn't utilize either of them. King ended up being fine. Strikeouts were there for him, but I don't know. Maybe we will end up including these 2. I'm just not overly excited about it. Again, because of the lack of perceived strikeout upside. Valdez's K props at 4.5 with juice on the over. Cease is at 5.5. Very slight juice on the over. The game itself, game total 7. Cease is a slight minus 112 favorite. So it is earlier in San Diego. It's not a late night game. At least here it's not late. Ball can fly a little bit better the earlier the game starts, but still might end up on one of the pitchers, but I just not excited about doing it. Sonny Gray dominated the Pirates first time I faced them. Been really strong at home. His road numbers haven't been as good at all, but 1 run allowed in each of his last 3 starts. Strong. Strikeouts have been there the last 2. Tough to not love him in this spot. I mean, maybe love is a little strong, but really like him. Um, a minus 198 favorite, pitching at home. K prop of 6.5 with juice on the over. So his K prop's pretty solid. Uh, Stronger than a guy like Scooble. By the looks of it, he is in the strongest K spot according to K props. Tanner Bybee today has a K prop of 6.5 with juice isn't quite as high. So Sonny Gray going to definitely be one of our better options on this slate. Bryce Miller struggled against the Yankees the first time he faced them, allowing a bunch of home runs. Um, Obviously, his home numbers are night and day different than his road numbers. Uh, does have K upside, uh, more K upside than Wu had last night, especially pitching at home. We didn't really utilize Wu. I mean, he ended up in my pool, but he was a small percentage play. Bryce Miller might find his way into the pool as well. Not that I'm super excited. K prop of 5.5. Slight underdog. Game total 7.5 with juice on the under though, so uh, maybe he finds his way into a few more lineups this evening. Aaron Nola dominated and shut down the Brewers the first time he faced them. Problem is a lot of his numbers are not very good on the road. Um, Recent trends, just not good starts recently. So I actually don't have a problem fading pitching in this game, to be honest. Freddie Peralta's at a price point that I really love to see, but his strikeouts haven't been there. His walks have been up. That combination is something I just don't really like. Philly's offense is pretty dangerous as it is. Um, Peralta is a minus 120 favorite, but I just don't know that I need to go to this game. Both guys have K props of 6.5, but juices on the under. K props seem kind of strong, to be honest. So I might have to redig into that matchup a little bit, but as of right now, I don't plan on playing either of those pitchers. Tanner Bybee has been absolutely filthy against the Twins in 3 starts. 2-0, a ton of strikeouts, 3 solo home runs allowed. Um, Coming off of a start where he allowed some home runs, but also racked up strikeouts. Like I mentioned, he has the second best K prop situation on the site. Um, yeah, I mean, it's tough to not use Tanner Bybee. He's a minus 118 favorite. Game total is 7.5 with juice on the under. Uh, so another low total situation. Spencer Schwellenbach, minus 155 favorite. Game total of 8.5. In Cincinnati, it actually seems a little low on the surface, but K prop of 5.5 with juice on the over. Been able to keep the ball in the yard when pitching on the road, but obviously this ballpark allows home runs. His K numbers are lower on the road. His recent performances don't rack up a lot of Ks, but he did shut down the Dodgers in his last start. I think he's a excellent option for us. We know that the Cincinnati offense can struggle a decent amount. Bowden Francis had some pretty strong starts of late. Um, Obviously took a no hitter into the ninth in his last start, but I mean just 1 strikeout, not overly exciting. Um, I think you kind of take him or leave him at this point. Both pitchers in this game actually. Francis K prop at 5.5 with juice on the under. Bradford's is at 4.5 with juice on the under. Bradford is a minus 130 favorite. Game total of 8. Um, I'm just not overly excited about using either guy. We saw last night's game kind of explode with better pitchers on the mound. Obviously, that can happen in baseball, so not a super shocker or anything. But I mean, Francis does have K ability. It's just he hasn't had that a ton the last few starts after going through a stretch where he definitely did have it. Bradford was lit up last time out, but it's obviously in a spot where we generally don't want to pick on a team. What was Arizona? Um, I'm not sure I'm going to get there. Obviously, I mean, Toronto isn't terrible offensively. They're not spectacular or anything, but you might have to dig into their numbers against left-handed pitching. I know Springer has struggled, but Bichette is back. Vladdy just keeps hitting. So, uh, I don't know. It just might be a start where he just doesn't get the upside and probably finishes with 17, 18 fantasy points. And if that's the outcome we're looking at, it's definitely one that I can bypass, to be honest. Tanner Houck keeps getting scratched and pushed back. Uh, I'd like to trust him, but I am going to pass for now. I'm going to wait as more news comes out throughout the day to see if he's going to be limited at all, or if they're still worried about his shoulder, or, the fatigue or whatever exactly going on. Um, it is a matchup I've been picking on, but obviously that situation kind of scares me in using a pitcher. So for now, I'm going to pass, and we'll wait until some more news comes out throughout the day. Nestor Cortez in a big K upside matchup returned to the rotation his last time out and dominated Boston. Didn't pick up the win. If he did, he'd approach 28 fantasy points. Pretty solid spot. Uh, I think we're going to want to go. I mean, he is a minus 122 favorite. K prop of 5.5. Juices on the under, but still uh, a solid K upside matchup, and that's what we kind of look for. Landon Knack, somebody that I think I want to use because he's facing Miami. Now Miami obviously put up a bunch of runs on the Dodgers last night. K prop of 4.5, juices on the under. I mean over. Sorry. Wow. He's a minus 185 favorite. There is enough upside. Obviously here he would have put up 27 with a W and a pretty strong performance. So it does offer us just enough upside on the slate. Plus, obviously, the matchup is more intriguing. Jose Quintana has not allowed a run to Washington on the season. 2 starts so far. Problem is he has just 6 strikeouts in those 2 starts. But throwing the ball really well. Shut down a couple of really tough offenses over his last 2. Beat the White Sox. Yay. I mean, whatever. San Diego didn't strike anybody out. If he would have had some strikeouts, that would have been a much better performance. Tough to not want to use a little bit of Quintana. A minus 175 favorite. Game total 7.5 with juice on the under. K prop of 4.5, which seems high for him, and the juice is slightly on the over. So he kind of fits in. I think there's just enough upside from him. I mean, it's not a ton, but I think there's just enough that he can get us the 25 to 30 fantasy points, which is that range that I try to look for. So, but there we have it. There's the first look at pitching for today. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us and get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.